السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. Surah Yusuf. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Alif, Lam, Ra. These are the verses of the book that manifest the truth. Verily we have sent it down, the Arabic Quran, that you may understand. We narrate to you, O Muhammad, the best of narratives, and that we have revealed to you this Quran, and before this you were those who were unaware of it. When Yusuf said to his father, O my father, verily I saw in my dream 11 stars and the sun and the moon. I saw them prostrating to me. He said, O my son, beware, do not relate your dream to your brothers, lest they plot a plot against you. Verily Shaitan is an avowed enemy to man. And thus your Lord will choose you and teach you to interpret events, and perfect his grace upon you and upon the children of Yaqub, as he perfected it upon your fathers, Ibrahim and Ishaq. Verily your Lord is all-knowing, all-wise. Most certainly in the story of Yusuf and his brothers there are signs for those who inquire. When they said, Surely Yusuf and his brother are dearer to our father than we, even though we are a bigger group. Verily our father is in manifest error. Slay Yusuf, or cast him in some distant land, so your father's attention may be all for you, and you may be after that a righteous people. A speaker amongst them said, Slay not Yusuf, but throw him into the bottom of a well. Some travellers may pick him up, if you must be doing anything at all. They said, O our father, what is the matter with you that you do not trust us with Yusuf? Verily, we are his well-wishers. Send him with us tomorrow, that he may enjoy himself and play. And verily, we shall take good care of him. He said, Verily, it saddens me that you should take him away, and I fear lest the wolf should devour him while you are heedless of him. They said, If a wolf should devour him when we are there in a large number, verily then we should be losers. So when they took him away and agreed to throw him down to the bottom of the well, they revealed to him, You will tell them one day of this deed of theirs, while they will not recognize you. And they came to their father at nightfall weeping. They said, O our father, really we went racing, and we left Yusuf by our things. Then a wolf devoured him, but you will not believe us, even though we tell the truth. And they came with false blood on his shirt. He said, Nay, your minds had beguiled you into something, but my course is comely patience. And Allah is He whose help is to be sought against what you describe. And there came a caravan, and they sent their water drawer. He let down his bucket onto the well. He said, What luck, here is a boy. And they concealed them as an article of merchandise, and really Allah was a knower of what they were doing. And they sold him for a paltry sum of a few dirham counted out, for they held him in low esteem. And he of Egypt who purchased him said to his wife, Give him an honorable place. He may be of use to us, or we will adopt him as a son. Thus did we establish Yusuf in the land, that we might teach him the interpretation of events. Verily Allah is predominant in his affairs, as most men do not know. And when he reached the prime of life, we gave him authority, prophethood, and knowledge, and thus do we recompense those who do good. And she in whose house he was sought to seduce him from his pure self, and she fastened the doors and said, Now come you. He said, I seek refuge in Allah. Verily He is my Lord. He has given me the best of lodgings. Verily the unjust never prosper. And indeed she desired him, and he also would have desired her, had he not seen the evidence of his Lord. Thus it was that we might turn away from him evil and shameful deeds. Verily he was one of our sincere and faithful servants. Both of them raced to the door, and she grabbed him, rent his shirt from behind. They met her husband at the door. She said, What is the penalty for a man who intends evil to your wife, save imprisonment or a painful punishment? Yusuf said, It was she who sought to seduce me from my pure self, and a witness from her household bore witness. If his shirt be torn at the front, then she speaks the truth, and he is of the liars. But if his shirt be torn at the back, and she is lying, and he is of the truthful. So when the husband saw the shirt and torn at the back, he said, Verily, this is the guile of you women. Verily, the guile of you women is terrible. Ignore this affair, O Yusuf, and you, O my wife, ask forgiveness for your sin. Verily, you have been of the guilty. And the woman in the city said, The wife of Al-Aziz seeks to seduce her patroness pure self. Verily, he has inflamed her with violent love. Verily, we see her in manifest error. And when she heard of their slanderous talk, she sent for them and prepared a banquet and gave each of them a knife and said to Yusuf, Come out before them. So when they saw him, they did extol him, and in their amazement cut their hands and said, Hasha lillah, Hasha lillahi ma haza bashara. He is no mortal but a noble angel. She said, This is he on whose account you blamed me. I did seek to seduce him from his pure self, but he did firmly save himself from sin, and now if he does not do my bidding, he shall certainly be imprisoned, and shall certainly be of those brought low. He said, O my Lord, dearer is prison than what they invite me to, and if you do not turn their guile away from me, I may incline unto them, and be of those who are ignorant. So his Lord heard his prayer and turned away their guile from him. Verily, he is all hearing, all knowing. Then it occurred to them, even after they had seen the signs of his innocence, that they should put him in prison for a time. And two young men entered the prison with him. One of them said, Verily, I saw myself in a dream pressing wine. And the other said, I saw myself in a dream carrying bread on my head, and the birds were eating thereof. Tell us, they said, the interpretation. Really, we see you are one who does good. Yusuf said, They will not bring you the food with which they feed you, but I will tell you the interpretation before it comes to you. This is what my Lord has taught me. Really, I have forsaken the religion of those people who do not believe in Allah, and they are the people who disbelieve in the hereafter. And I followed the religions of my fathers, Ibrahim, Ishaq, and Yaqub. And it is not lawful for us to associate aught with Allah. This is Allah's grace upon us and upon mankind. Most of mankind do not give thanks. O my two fellow prisoners, are many lords differing among themselves better, or Allah the one, the dominant? Those whom you worship beside him are but names which you have named, you and your fathers. Allah has not sent down for them any authority. Judgment belongs to Allah alone. He has commanded that you worship none but him alone. This is the right religion. Most people do not know it. O my two fellow prisoners, as to one of you, he will pour out wine for his Lord to drink. As to the other, he shall be crucified. Then the birds shall eat from his head. The matter which you two have asked has been decreed so. And he said to him of the two who you knew would be saved, Mention me to your Lord. But the devil caused him to forget to mention to his Lord. So he stayed in prison for some years. And the king said, Verily, I saw in a dream 7 fat cows, which 7 lean ones were devouring, and 7 green ears of corn, and other 7 dry. O my chiefs, explain to me my dream if you can interpret dreams. They said, These are confused dreams, and we do not know the interpretation of such dreams. And he of the two was released, and now at length remembered, said, I will give you its interpretation, so let me go for it. O Yusuf the truthful, expound for us the 7 fat cows, which 7 lean ones were devouring, and the 7 green ears of corn, and other 7 dry, that I may return to the people, so that they may know. He said, You shall sow 7 years as usual, but that which you reap, leave in its ears, except a little which you shall eat. Then after that will come 7 years of hardship, which will consume all that you have laid beforehand against them, except a little which you shall preserve. Then will come after that a year in which people will have abundant rain, and in which they will press the grapes. The king said, Bring him to me. So when the messenger came to him, Yusuf said, Go back to your lord and ask him as to the condition of the woman who cut their hands. Really, my lord knows their guile. The king said to the woman, What was the matter with you when you did seek to seduce Yusuf from his pure self? The woman said, Hasha lillah, Allah is perfect. We know no evil against him. The wife of Al-Aziz said, Now the truth has come to light. It was I who sought to seduce him from his pure self. He is surely of the truthful. Yusuf said, I did this in order that he, the king, may know that I did not betray him, Al-Aziz, in his absence, that Allah does not let the guile of the betrayer succeed. I do not exculpate myself. Verily the self ever urges to evil. Save thyself, on whom my Lord bestows his mercy. Verily my Lord is oft forgiving, merciful. And the king said, Bring him to me, I will take him in my exclusive service. So when he had spoken to him, the king said, Verily today in our presence you are established in a high rank and trusted. He said, Set me over the treasures of the land. Verily I am a watchful keeper, knowing. Thus did we establish Yusuf in the land, to take possession therein as, when, or where he pleased. We bestow our mercy on whomsoever we will, and we do not waste the recompense of those who do good. And certainly the recompense of the hereafter is better for those who believe and safeguard themselves against evil. And the brothers of Yusuf came, and they entered his presence, and he knew them, but they knew him not. When he had furnished them with their provision, he said, Bring to me a brother of yours from your father. Do you not see that I give full measure, and that I am the best of hosts? But if you do not bring him to me, then there shall be no measure for you with me, nor shall you ever come near to me. They said, We will seek to get him from his father, and verily that we will do. He said to his servants, Put their goods, with which they have bartered corn, in their saddle-bags, that they may find it when they return to their family, in order that they may come back. So when they returned to their father, they said, O our father, our further measure has been denied to us, so send with us our brother, that we may get our measure. Verily you will guard him well. He said, Can I trust you with him, except as I trusted you with his brother aforetime? But Allah is the best of guardians, and he is the most merciful of the merciful. And when they opened their belongings, they found their goods returned to them. They said, O our father, what more can we desire? Here are our goods returned to us, and we will bring more corn for our family, and guard our brother. We shall have the extra measure of the camel load. This that we have brought is a small measure. Yaqub said, I will never send him with you until you give me a firm undertaking in the name of Allah that you will certainly bring him back to me unless you are surrounded. Then when they gave him their assurance, he said, Allah is the warden, witness, and guardian over what we have said. And he said, O my sons, do not enter by one gate, but enter by different gates. And I cannot avail you aught against Allah. Judgment belongs to Allah alone. Upon Him do I rely, and upon Him let the relying rely. When they entered as their father had enjoined, it did not avail them aught against the plan of Allah. But it was a desire in Yaqub's soul which he satisfied. And really, he was endued with knowledge, for we had taught him. Most people do not know. And when they went in before Yusuf, he lodged his full brother with himself, and said, Verily I am your own brother, therefore do not grieve for what they have been doing. And when he furnished them with their provision, he, a steward, put the drinking cup in his brother's saddle-bag. Then a crier cried, O men of the caravan, verily you are thieves. They said, turning to them, What is it that you miss? They said, You miss the king's drinking cup, and whosoever brings it shall have the load of a camel, and I vouch for it. They said, By Allah, you know we did not come to make mischief in the land, nor are we thieves. They said, What shall be the punishment for this if you be liars? He said, The punishment for it shall be that he in whose luggage is found shall be held as a punishment. Thus we punish the wrongdoers. Then he began the search with their sacks before the sack of his brother, and he produced it from his brother's sack. Thus did we plan for Yusuf. He could not detain his brother under the law of the king unless Allah so willed. We raise to degrees of wisdom whom we please, and over every possessor of knowledge is the all-knowing Lord. They said, If he steals, indeed a brother of his stole before. But Yusuf kept it secret and did not disclose it to them, and said within himself, You are in an evil plight, and Allah knows best what you allege. He said, O exalted one, he has a very old father, so take one of us in his place. Really we see you of those who do good. He said, Allah forbid that we should hold any one other than him with whom we found our property, or else we will be unjust. So when they despaired of persuading him, they held a conference in private. The eldest of them said, Do you not know that your father took from you a firm covenant in Allah's name, and how before this you did fail in the case of Yusuf? So I will not leave this land until my father permits me, or Allah decides for me, for he is the best of all judges. Return to your father and say, O our father, really your son committed theft. We do not bear witness but to what we have known, and we could not guard against the unseen. We inquired from the people of the township where we were, and asked the men of the caravan with whom we have come, and verily we are truthful. He said, No, you have yourselves contrived a story suitable for you, so my course is comely patience. Allah may bring them back to me altogether. Verily he is all-knowing, all-wise. He turned away from them and said, Alas, my grief for Yusuf! And his eyes turned white with grief, and he held his anger and sorrow in check. He said, By Allah, you will not cease remembering Yusuf till you are on the verge of death or until you die. He said, I only complain of my distress and grief to Allah, and I know from Allah what you do not know. O my sons, go and inquire about Yusuf and his brother, and do not despair of Allah's mercy. Verily, only they despair of Allah's mercy who do not believe. Then, when they came back into his Yusuf's presence, they said, O Exalted One, distress has touched us and our family, and we have now brought but scanty capital, so give us full measure as alms bestowed. Verily, Allah rewards those who give alms. He said, Do you know what you did to Yusuf and his brother while you were ignorant? They said, Are you indeed Yusuf? He said, I am Yusuf, and this is my brother. Allah has indeed been gracious to me. Really, he who safeguards himself against evil and endures, and really Allah does not waste the reward of those who do good. Allah does not waste the reward of those who do good. He never does. They said, By Allah, verily Allah has preferred you above us, and we are indeed guilty. He said, There is no reproach on you today, may Allah forgive you, and He is the most merciful of the merciful. Take my shirt and put it on my father's face. He shall become a seer again, and come to me with all your family. When the caravan departed from Egypt, their father said at home, I get the smell of Yusuf if you do not think that I am doting. He said, By Allah, verily you are still persisting in your old delusion. And when the bearer of glad tidings came, he put in the shirt over his face, forthwith his eyesight was restored. He said, Did I not tell you, verily I know from Allah what you do not know? They said, O our father, ask forgiveness for our sins. Verily, we are sinners. He said, Soon I will ask forgiveness for you from my Lord. Verily, He is all forgiving, most merciful. And when they entered the presence of Yusuf, he lodged his parents with himself, and he said, Enter Egypt if Allah wills in security. And he raised his parents high on the throne, and they fell down before him in prostration. He said, O my father, this is the interpretation of my dream of yore. Indeed, my Lord has made it come true, and He has been kind to me when He took me out of the prison and brought you all here from the desert, after Shaitan had created discord between me and my brothers. Really, my Lord is benign to whomsoever He wills. Really, He is all-knowing, all-wise. O my Lord, you have given me dominion and taught me the interpretation of events. O Originator of the heavens and the earth, you alone are my guardian in this world and the hereafter. Let me die submitting to you as a Muslim, and join me with the righteous. This is the tidings of the unseen which we revealed to you, Muhammad. You were not present with them when they agreed on their course of action, while they were devising their plot. And most people do not wish howsoever you wish, even though you do not ask any recompense for it. It is nothing else than an admonition to the world. And how many a sign there is in the heavens and the earth they pass by, yet they turn away their faces from them, and most of them not only do not believe in Allah, but also they associate others with Him. Do they then feel secure from coming of an overwhelming chastisement from Allah, or the sudden coming to them of the hour while they are unaware? Say, O Muhammad, this is my way, I do invite unto Allah, with clear insight, which I and he who follows me possess. Glory be to Allah, I am not of the polytheists. And we did not send messengers before you, but men from among the people of the towns, to whom we sent our revelations. They did not travel in the land until it has been the end of those before them, and certainly the abode of the hereafter is the best, for those who safeguard themselves against evil. Do you not then understand? Till when the messengers despaired and thought that we are indeed belied, and our help came to them, and we delivered whomsoever we willed, and our wrath is not warded off from the guilty. Indeed, indeed, there is a lesson in their narratives for men of understanding. It is not a forged tale, but a confirmation of what went before it, and a detailed exposition of all things, and a guide and a mercy for those who believe. صدق الله العلي العظيم. Surah Al-Yusuf, Surah number 12.